Hello, and good week to everyone. Um, Pashas, we read Pashas told us today, and actually saw a very interesting Nakuda made by Rabbi Avraham Shlomowitz, friend of mine. We know the two things here in the Pasha that need to be explained, and he sort of like explained them both in one way, which is fascinating. At least I find it fascinating. The one thing is, we said in the parsha that Yitzchak and Rivka did not have children, and they both davened. Say that Yitzchak was davening on one side of the room, and Rivka was standing on the other side of the room, and they were davening and begging HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the Chumash says, Vayatel Hashem listened to the tefillah of Yitzchak and not the tefillah of Rivka. And Rashi says something which needs to be understood. He says because the tefillah of a tzaddik ben tzaddik is superior to a tefillah of a tzaddik ben rasha. We know that Yitzchak Avinu grew up in the house of Avraham Avinu. Basically, the only Baal Kiruv in the world at that particular time. Avraham Avinu, Sarah Imenu, and Rivka, grew up in a house of a Rasha, and her brothers are Rasha, all the people her place are Rasha, and she didn't learn from them, and she remained a tzaddikus. So it's all a big question, the fact that supposedly, Rivka faced a much bigger challenge than Yitzchak. I mean, Yitzchak grew up, had environmental advantage, with the house, all he saw is tzaddikim, some malachim, Here's Rivka, growing up in a house of amazing Rishoyim. So it's like Frat who says about the tshuva, the place Baal Tshuva stands, tzaddikim Mura cannot stand. So okay, she was chas v'chalila, but obviously she faced tremendous challenges, in her decision, much more than Yitzchak is the way it seems. So why is that? Why is the tefillah of Yitzchak was preferable to the tefillah of Rivka? And he says, also he speaks about the fact that Yitzchak loves Esav, kitzayt b'fiv, so because he was faking it, and he was like asking like really like dumb frum questions, like how do you give meiser from salt, and how do you give meiser from tevin, from the stalks of just the stalks, and from straw, and kind of like, which is nonsense. I mean, don't give any meiser from them, obviously. But he was like, he showed himself to his father as like super frum, he's super machmer. And Rivka ever says Yaakov. Rivka loved Yaakov. So, I mean, what do you mean? Yitzchak Avinu was that gullible and he wasn't able to see what's going on with Yitzchak? I mean, it's a little far-fetched. So what Reb Shlomo does is he puts these two things together, and it fits beautifully. The reason why Yitzchak Avinu knew what's going on with. He didn't know the extent, but he knew what's the story with Esav. He knew what kind of a bandit, plus minus. That he wasn't really. But he grew in the house of Avraham Avinu, who was the biggest Baal Makarov of the generation. Mr. Arsameach. He was the one who was Mikhail of everybody. So he saw his experience with people who were wicked was you speak to them, you Mikhail of them, and they make tshuva. He looked at Esav as somebody, yes, right now he's a faker. I know but nevertheless, I'll be Mikhail of him. It'll be a great thing. However, Rivka, that grew up in a house. Her father was Al Capone. Her brother was John Gotti. And all her people were were Hamas people. It's like she knew exactly what Esav was. She saw through the facade straight away. And he could not fool her. She knew exactly all the way to the end, zero tolerance for riches. And so she loved Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu is a tzaddik, is ishta mishavaylim. And Mimele, Rabbi Shlomo says this explains why Kadosh Baruch Hu accepted the tefillah of Yitzchak and not the tefillah of Rivka. It says the following: Kadosh Baruch Hu wanted Esav in the world because there has to be, the good has to oppose the bad in order to reach its potential. Now Rivka, when Rivka davened, she davened all she wants is 100% tzidkus, no ifs, ands, or buts, not a trace of a possibility of anything that resembles her household. Besuel, the Lavan, Shemirach, Gunish, nothing. Yitzchak Avinu was more tolerant. If somebody's not all right, okay, you Mekar of him. If Kadosh Baruch Hu would accept the tefillah of Rivka, Esav would never been born. Because Rivka did not tolerate any kind of deviation from total tzidkus. That's why she loved Yaakov. And that's why Kadosh Baruch Hu did not accept her tefillah. Because she's a tzaddik ben Rasha, she knows what rishus is. Her tefillah would not allow for any possibility for the birth of Esav. Yitzchak was more broad-minded. And right now he's not the way it's supposed to be, but Zat Hashem will work on him to be the way it's supposed to be. So he accepted the tefillah of Yitzchak over the tefillah of Rivka. So it's not like just, that tefillah of tzaddik ben tzaddik is like it comes with a chip on its shoulder. It's a very beautiful shot that machshava that Rav Shlomo said about the pasha. So I thought I'd share it with you. Well, I actually skipped a Ma'aser of Baal Shem Tov because I wanted to tell you the story tonight, this particular one, because it is incredibly important for this point in time. This story is about the Talmud Baal Shem Tov Revolve Kitzis that wanted to go to Israel. He wanted to travel to Israel. He came to the Baal Shem Tov to get Birkas Haderech. And when he went along the way, Baal Shem Tov told him, Revolve, listen, you have to be very careful about what you say. You must know how to answer. Okay. Well, for an out, on a journey, going on a ship. On the way, the ship stopped, for a short interim in one of the islands. The people from the boat went off the boat, buy stuff, whatever it is. I don't know if they were duty free, but whatever. But they went to buy some food, whatever. Then everybody came back. Now, Revolf Kitzes also went off, but he didn't go to buy trinkets and welcome to, I don't know, whatever it is, cups, mugs. He went to make his Veilus. He went to make his Veilus and become such dvekus. And his tefillah, lasted a long time. He forgot to get back on the ship. When he finished his davening, he got out of his dvekus and he saw that the ship left. He was alone. He was alone on this island. And he had big tsar. So he saw this, there's a road leading, he decided he's going to go there, and he went and he saw a house. And this particular house, he saw inside an old Yid. So this old Yid gives him Shalom Aleichem and asks him, why are you so worried? Well, those kids just told him, why shouldn't I worry? I'm in big trouble. My ship left and I was stranded. I was left alone. So the old man told him, don't worry about it. Just stay with us for Shabbos. After Shabbos, there'll be other ships. You're able to go. And he says, you'll be able to find a minyan over here and a mikveh. Don't worry about it. And the way that the old man said, that's the way that things were. They both spent Shabbos there. And it is after Shabbos, some more ships came. Both went to the port. So the old man accompanied him. And suddenly the old man asks him, I forgot to ask you, what's the situation of the Jews in your country? How are they? Now, that particular time, Revolf was very busy trying to find a boat that would take him. So he just blurted, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't forget them. And immediately he went on the boat, and the anchor was taken up, and the boat flies away. And then when he was on the boat, he started thinking, what is the question that he was asked, and what did he answer? Then he remembered what the Baal Shem Tov told him, that he should be very careful in what he says and know how to answer. He says, why didn't I tell the old man in what deep trouble in the tsar of the Jews in my country? Well, what can you do? You can't take it back. So he decided not to go to Eretz Yisrael, decided to go back to the Baal Shem Tov. He came back to Baal Shem Tov. Baal Shem Tov told him, you should know that the old man that you met on this island was Avraham Avinu. And every single day Avraham Avinu is standing there and asking Kadosh Baruch Hu, Ribono Shel Olam, how are my children? Baruch Hu says, I didn't forget them. And this time Avraham Avinu asked the Kadosh Baruch Hu, how are the Jews doing? Kadosh Baruch Hu says, I didn't forget them. You want proof? Here, Revolf is going to Eretz Yisrael. He's a good Jew. He's a faithful Jew. But ask him about it. Shem Tov told him, if you would have told Avraham Avinu the big tsar, the Yisurim that Am Yisrael has in their Golos, the Vadai Mashiach would have come. But you forgot what I told you. Now, Bavonosenu, the Golos is back to the way it was. I think that the aptness of this particular story is obvious. People get used to any situation. People in the Holocaust, in the micro ecosystem, as it were, if you can call it that, of a concentration camp. People adjusted. They found a way to compensate. And they got used to that. Got used to that to the point that many, not some, but many, Shem Yerachem, many of the inmates of the Holocaust, when they were released, they actually committed suicide. They couldn't get used to the life outside. Shem Yerachem. You can imagine that in Teves Noach, Shem's wife, says, "Why do you have to be the one who's all the time taking the garbage down? Why can't it be Ham for once?" Whatever it is. And he got, okay, so I changed shifts with him, now it's my time, it's your turn, whatever it is. I'm going to feed the zebras. And, there was, within the Mabul outside, there was a deluge, but there's a certain kind of routine. People get used to the situation they live in. We live right now in war. There's a war going on. So the first few weeks, couple of weeks, whatever it is, 3 weeks, whatever, how long it was, already a month, almost a month since Simchas Torah, Shem Yerachem. In the very beginning, there were sirens going on. Now there's obviously the people in the north, they're going on through what they're going through. All kinds of sirens, there are rockets, this or that. Then, Baruch Hashem, the army is going in, things are going on. They're no longer sirens, alarms going on in the cities here, and things are going on. So it's just a question, things are going on in Chutz La'aretz. We know exactly the way things are. We know the anti-Semitism. The Jews are not allowed to win, and and when they say that Israel has to solve the Palestinian, two-state solution, the solution is put square on the shoulders of the Jews. Why? Why shouldn't the pressure be on the Jordanians or the Egyptians? No, the Jews and there's no solution. Nevertheless, we're getting used to it. It's only when you get to speak to someone who has children or nephews or relatives that are serving in infantry in Gaza. The son-in-law of our friend of David Axelrod. So he's in the army. He's, I don't know, was it in Kafir, whatever it is. It's infantry. The daughter came to the Shabbos with the children. I have another friend who has a couple of grandchildren that are serving there. And they're scared. They're scared. But for many of the rest of us, I don't want to speak Chas v'Chalila, I'm speaking in the name of everyone. Okay, so after Shachas, after Mincha, whatever it is, Shiramah, Lo Yitzhak Na'alarim, whatever it is, and then Achenu Kol Beis Yisrael, and you go, finished. We're getting used to it. What's a big deal? La Leina V'la Leichen. There were 6 soldiers that were killed today. 6. There are 6 families that will never be the same again. Ever. And it's still going on. But the heart, just we're busy. We're busy. Maybe we're busy working. Maybe we're busy learning Torah. Maybe we're busy, whatever it is we're busy with. It's all legitimate. But the very same way that Wolf Kitzes was busy. So legitimate. He's looking for a ship to get off the island. Just one little question at the end. So he was, I was busy. Can't you see that? I'm just busy. So we are in this situation right now. Avraham Avinu, Yitzchak Avinu, Rivka, Yaakov Avinu, Leah, Rachel Avinu, all the Ovos HaKadoshim, all the tzaddikim, they're all with us. They're all with us now. We need to speak to Kadosh Baruch Hu. We need to speak to the tzaddikim. We need to tell them. And because when you come to look at it, it's like, what is the question of Avraham Avinu asking Kadosh Baruch Hu, what's happening with my children? Avraham Avinu doesn't know what's happening with his children. But it's a very, very famous saying that I don't know, about this particular story. It's a very famous Hasidic story. I can't tell you any kind of guarantee, that this is the way, that it happened. I don't know. But it's very widespread. And it is said that Rabbi Nochum of Chernobyl, the Morinayim, before he passed away, he told his son, Mordechai of Chernobyl, was Skan Tzaddik Ador, he was the oldest tzaddik in the generation. So Reb Nochum Chernobyl, Talmud of the Maggid of Mizrich, he told his son, that's the way the story goes. He told his son before he passed away, when I go up to the Shemaim, I'm not going to rest. I'm not going to let it go. And until I make sure that Mashiach comes. So he passed away, passed on. And as you know, Mashiach did not come. So the story is that Mordechai of Chernobyl wanted to speak to his father. And it took him a long time. He wasn't able to speak to him. He kept on telling him, your father went to such a very high place, it is very difficult for him to come from where he is to where you are. But he kept on davening, until his father came to him. I don't know if it was in a dream, he came to him. The Hakitz, I'm not sure, I don't know. He asked him, how can it be? Before you passed on, you told me that you're not going to let it go until Mashiach comes. After you go up to Shemaim, you go to Gan Eden, you're going to bang on the table, as it were, and, to get Mashiach here. So what's happening? So Reb Nochum Chernobyl basically told him, Lahavdil, what Arik Sharon said before he gave Gaza to the Palestinians. Before that, he was like, the toughest and biggest opponent of giving anything to the Arabs. We don't know what it is that happened over there. There was all kinds of criminal things, whatever it is, and the leftists, promised him that they'll protect him, as they did. If this is what, I don't know if this is the reason why he did, but the sentence that he actually said was, the things that you see from here, you don't see from there. In other words, the things that you see as a prime minister, you don't see from there, from the outside, from where you are. That's what he said. Well, apparently there was, I don't know what he saw, but he didn't see what was going on. But Havdil would just put that story aside. Reb Nachum Shalom said, when I got here to the Shamayim, I got a different perspective of what's going on and what's the reason that Mashiach hasn't come yet. That's the reason why I did not stick to my conviction to bang on the table and make sure that Mashiach comes. Nevertheless, Rabbeinu HaKadosh said, we need the Kadosh Baruch Hu's Rahmanas. And the Kadosh Baruch Hu is, everything he does is with Rahmanas. However, we need the Kadosh Baruch Hu's Rahmanas to be our kind of Rahmanas. From our perspective. So from Kadosh Baruch Hu's perspective, anything he does is Rahmanas. It could be Shem Yiracham, even those 1,400 people more now, that were killed, and the Shem Yirachem, what went on, it's also Rachmanis from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's not our kind of Rachmanis, but the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does is Rachmanis. Beno said we have to ask the HaKadosh Baruch Hu for Rachmanis is from our perspective, our kind of Rachmanis. That's the question of Avraham Avinu HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What's going on with my children? In other words, from their perspective. I know the perspective from Gan Eden. I know the perspective from the Shamayim. Rabbi is fully aware of that. But what is their perspective? You can see the same thing happening. Same thing happened with Purim. When Rochel Imenu, whatever it is, they all went around and they went to Hebron, they went to Moshe Rabbeinu, they went everywhere. Where do you have to go? Well, they don't know. They do, but they see everything from the Shamayim. Has to be the perspective of our perspective. That's why, according to this Maisa, it was such a big deal. Now, both kids did not say there wasn't Me'or Rachamim on Am Yisrael. Just let it go. Okay? We 100% must beg HaKadosh Baruch Hu to open our heart. It's normal that we sink, to some kind of apathy because what was that? We know there's war going on, there's all kind of dangers, whatever it is, but I slept all right tonight. You have what to eat. What's the problem? Well, don't say that, of course, but we need to beg HaKadosh Baruch Hu to open our heart and to call out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and scream to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and beg HaKadosh Baruch Hu to send us the Geula, to send us Mashiach. We have to do it. Now, the liturgy that descends upon us is not our fault. That kind of indifference or diffidence that we feel is because the Yetzer Hara is zooming in on us. And he's putting on, the Sandman, he's putting the sleeping dust over our hearts, not to feel what's going on, not to call out and cry and to scream to Kadosh Baruch Hu, please, 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 redeem us. Send the Mashiach and redeem us. Kala kol akitzi. What can we say? The people that are brainwashed against Yiddishkeit, if they're going to be beaten up, the way that we all were beaten up a month ago, to just go ahead and blame Netanyahu. What's he got to do with anything? They're looking for people to blame. Nebuch, the people out there was a big march going on in Yerushalayim to release the hostages. What did he want? I mean, the people at B don't want to release the hostages. What do you want them to do? Do you want them to stop the thing, but to give all the thousand of Mechablim, the Hamas people in our jails, to give them to Gaza and let go of Hamas just to get these people back? Then always, what do you want? But the thing is that we want. Why don't you cry out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Because they don't know. They don't know to cry to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But we do. We do, but we've got the sleeping dust over our hearts. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about myself. I have to wake up. And the way to wake up is ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to wake up. Is not to beat myself up. Why don't I feel it? Why don't I cry? It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu to feel. It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu to cry. And until I get to feel it, just cry out the way that you can. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, open up my heart. Open up my heart. Not just to the plight of Klal Yisrael, but for me to be besimcha, for me to be happy with where I am. Yeah, it's okay. Oh, Hashem, don't okay. What are you talking about? Yeah. Sandman. Putting it, thus everybody falls asleep. We have to wake up. It's not the Shem. Let's take a quick look on Sichos Haran for this week. So we'll be able to see what's going on here. Just a second. I did not do it right. Hold on. There we go. We're talking about Sicha 2015. Resh Tesvav. Avinu said, Etzli ha'ikar hu Rosh Hashanah. The main thing by me is Rosh Hashanah. The instant the Rosh Hashanah is over, Animati Azni, I'm putting my ear to the wall. And I'm listening. In Makim Makotav, they're already banging on the wall, the Earl Slichas to wake up people for Slichas for the next year. Because there is no time at all. Time doesn't exist because the entire year is passing and it's gone in an instant. This is the scary Sicha, Baruch Hashem, we were zecher to be in Rosh Hashanah in Uman. Those that couldn't go for any reason were also in Uman. Those that weren't there last year, but Hashem next year will come. But what the Sikha is actually saying is there is no time on this earth at all. At all. We're taking a look at the way things are, and we're sort of like giving ourselves alibis why it's okay to basically disregard the fact that our days are numbered, And every single thought, every single look, every single word that is said, as we learn from the story of Baal Shem Tov, everything counts. The good and the opposite. And time is flying. We have this kind of mechanism to blind us. We're busy. We're busy. There's life, things we take care of. Children can have Haran. This, that, marriage, that, and kol echad. Each one with his own. Avinu says that people don't realize that every day a person dies. In other words, that day that passed, the person died that day. Now he's up to the next day. And time will come. And we need to concentrate on that. We need to understand. Avinu says that should be the minhag of every Yerushalayim. First thing in the morning, you wake up, put it in your head, in your mind. Though this world is not the only thing that there is. There's olam haba. The first thought, before Modeani, before Negel Vasa, there is olam haba. It's not just this world, there's another world to come. Avinu says, and then you build up that particular Yerushalayim. And until you get to the point where you're able to converse with the Kadosh Baruch Hu through reality, through people, through your own thoughts, through your own deeds, through your own diburim. Avinu says, to everyone, Kadosh Baruch Hu is mazmin to the person, he gives to the person, brings the person every single day, machshava, dibur, and maisa, according to the time, according to the place, to call a person to him. Because we're conversing with you. He's talking with you. Ad Kadei Kach Rabbeinu said you have to be careful not to go overboard with that. Because basically, first of all, believe because Baruch Hu is talking to you through everything. And whatever he's talking to you is towards the goal of how do I use now to the tachlis. Because Rosh Hashanah is coming. There's no time between Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is coming. After that Rosh Hashanah, and before you know it, Zat Hashem Tchias Amazing. It's a matter of awareness. And awareness comes from Shtadlus. Shtadlus is what? Daven, talk to Kadosh Baruch Hu. If you can't talk to Kadosh Baruch Hu with words, talk with him in your machshava. Then open up your mouth as much as you can. And keep on working at it. B'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give us B'ezrat Hashem a week of victory over all Sonei Israel throughout the world. Hashem. Kadosh Baruch Hu B'ezrat Hashem, the Kadosh Baruch Hu B'ezrat Hashem should deliver us, each and every one of us, B'ezrat Hashem. Geula Shlema B'ezrat Hashem, B'kol B'meinu Mamash B'ezrat Hashem. And B'ezrat Hashem, Alavai, Kadosh Baruch Hu be me'or our hearts to call out to Kadosh Baruch Hu about our people, about what's going on. Let Avraham Avinu know that no, things are not all right. Of course, Kadosh Baruch Hu never forgot us, but things are not all right. Yidden are suffering. The suffering b'gashmi is the suffering b'ruchnius. You know what's going on. Shem Yirachem. Call out. Rabbeinu says, how can we let HaKadosh Baruch Hu make decrees against us? We should call out HaKadosh Baruch Hu and keep him busy in bringing us closer to him, so you won't make decrees against other people, against the Jews. We have to call out. we have to work. We are the people that have to call out in this generation. Previous generation, it was the Sipurey, it was the Chazon Ish, it was Rebbe Cheshin, it was the Shmuel Shapiro, it was Rebbe Yitzchak Bender, it was the Briskerov, it was the Best Israel from Ger, and before that, in the Chofetz Chaim and so forth. In this generation, it is us. We are the ones who need to do this. It's us. What are you talking about? What do you compare me to them? It doesn't matter. Kadosh Baruch Hu put us in the world today means it's our job. How we measure up, it's not our job to figure out if we measure up or we don't. It has nothing to do with this. Kadosh Baruch Hu put us in the world today, each and every one of us, and each and every one of us is passing, is going through. He grew up in whatever house he grew up. He went through whatever he went through. He's going through whatever he's going through. Because Kadosh Baruch Hu needs you now like that. And that's it. That's it. That's what we need to do. Realize we need to raise up to the challenge. We're alive now. All the tzaddikim, Hashem will Bezat Hashem give us Gula Shlemo. Bina Besamigdash Merabi Amen, Bezat Hashem, Amen, Amen.